So we've got a political system with a big, ugly gatekeeper standing at the front of it, and that gatekeeper has a sign, and the sign says, if you can't promote yourself, if you can't tell people with a straight face that you're the best person for the job, don't come here, you are not welcome.
I got a 3-point plan to fix everything.
And once people get through that gate, those people who can say those things and raise enough money to get through that gate, they go into a pool of people who are all like that and who get promoted broadly according to their ability to promote themselves within that group. Does this turn up high levels of ability? Yes, it does. But what kinds of ability?
Those people are very, very good at manipulating their way into power. And part of that is the way we've designed the way that we promote people into power, because a job interview, for example, is tailor-made for somebody who has superficial charm, the two words that are almost always associated with being a psychopath.
Can we fix this while still remaining a democracy? Well, we have to fix it if we are to remain a democracy, and by fixing it, we will become far more of a democracy and a far more successful society. So if we have a political system which is focused on competition, on politicians telling the electorate, vote for me, I'm the best, what kind of people might miss out in a political system like that? What kind of people might not even volunteer? Well, typically women didn't want to get themselves involved in that sort of thing. And something which is related, people who want to go around community building, who want to build bridges between people rather than promote themselves. In Australia, since 2013, there's been a great deal of political renewal with a handful of very important seats in our federal parliament. They've been taken over not by political parties, but by independents. And in each of these cases, those independents were chosen by the community after a long period of looking around. And the process by which communities looked around for the best candidates was an involved process and involved a lot of community building. It used a technique called kitchen table conversations from the Victorian Women's Trust. It was focused on domestic conversations around the kitchen table. And as they pursued those things throughout the community, they found something very interesting. That men tended to talk a little more than the women, but the men were not very good at doing all the background work like taking notes and writing them up. They tended to be done more by the women. And it turns out that through this process, a whole range of fantastic new independent candidates were served up to Parliament. We now have about 10 or 12 of them, and almost everyone is a woman. And that has changed the nature of the Australian Parliament. It's made it more collaborative, more focused on compromise. And that's the sort of thing we have to try to move towards if we're going to save our democracy.